Thanks for tuning in to another one of my reaction videos. I saw this originally as a sponsored post on Facebook, and it just seemed obvious that I needed to make a video about this. And I checked it out, and as soon as I started getting into the article, I'm like, stop. I want to experience this for the first time with you. So it's called Fake Famous and the Tedium of Influencer Culture. Let's dive in. Hello, my name is Mike Lloyd. I'm a professional photographer. I've been doing it for 12 years and teaching photographers all over the world how to build photography businesses. And one of the things that is a pillar in my own photography business and in my life is just being genuine. It's being authentic. It is making real connections. And I hate how fake everything is on the internet. I mean, obviously it's detrimental to younger generations who are on there thinking they have to look a certain way or be a certain way, or success looks like one particular thing when it's all staged, it's all artificial. I mean, there is some realness on social media, but generally those who call themselves influencers, gurus, any of that bullshit, I mean, it's all really just bullshit. So let's dive into this article. It's on the New Yorker, Fake Famous and the Tedium of Influencer Culture. So it's a documentary where they take three people and offer to make them famous on social media, to be influencers. And firstly, one thing that really gets me fired up is, I'm like literally getting white knuckled here. The definition of an influencer is someone who influences others. Like, you need to have influence over others to be an influencer. So striving to be an influencer without, the thing that makes you influential is defeating the purpose. Like, that is why we have so many fake people online pretending to be something they're not. And they're setting a ridiculous standard because they're not even living that, because it's likely not even attainable. So, I mean, and it goes to the apps that reshape women's bodies to make their face look a certain way and narrow their hips and their boobs and butt look bigger, to clear up skin, to add extensions to hair, to give guys six-pack abs when they take their shirts off who don't have abs like that. It's all fake. And the software is so good at engineering those things that it looks like it could be real. And I wish our education system, I wish parents, I wish everyone did a better job of putting disclaimers on this entire culture and this ecosystem, to just remind everyone constantly how fake most of it is. Okay, so firstly, I love that this is the magic of photography, and I think it's great to do fantasy shoots like this. Where they're staging the shoot. She's got like the flower petals in a kiddie pool, except you find out later that she's posting this pretending to be in some fancy spa when obviously she's just laying down in somebody's yard getting photographed. So the whole idea of this show was to allow three people, or this production company, this media company, was going to make three people famous. So they created this social experiment here, highlight that, where they put out a casting call just asking, do you want to be famous? That was the casting call. No other descriptions, no other anything. But that's just the point. There are too many people out there who want to be famous, forgetting that before this culture started, you had to actually do something of value or of note to become famous. You can't just skip to the front of the line and be famous. You got to be famous for a reason. So, but again, obviously they're smart marketers because they know how to attract that type of person. Okay, so out of the thousands of hopefuls who apparently do want to be famous, they picked three people with the goal of making them Instagram influencers. So assisted by a team, including casting directors, stylists, social media consultants. What's your passion? And one of them wanted to focus on roller skating. Neat. Let's see. Dominique, an affable, aspiring actress from Miami Beach who works at Lululemon while she waits for her big break. Wiley, fretful assistant to a Beverly Hills real estate agent who who is struggling to fit into LA's body-conscious competitive gay scene, and Chris, a black fashion designer from Arizona, who appears to be the most self-confident of the bunch. And quote, "I don't even feel like I want to be famous. I deserve to." Ugh, that's infuriating. But also so unfortunate that this precedent has been set. Okay. I really encourage you to read through this. There's kind of a DIY creativity to all this, the spirit of making do, which allows the plucky influencer some agency. Okay. So I love this. Working a menial job is hard, but fake famous demonstrates that being an influencer, too, can be a tedious kind of labor. Going through and doing all those photo shoots, creating all that kind of content, and just managing that illusion is a lot of work. You know, it's one of the reasons, like, I don't even have a personal social media presence. Everything I do is for the business because I have to put so much of my time and energy into it. And not that I don't enjoy it per se, you know, that's why I do put my personality into it. I share Halloween stuff and post about burritos and tacos because I love Mexican food, spooky stuff all year. I share things that are relevant to me as a person, and I combine that with the business because I am my business. But I don't have a personal social or a personal Instagram account, and obviously I have a personal Facebook one because I needed one to create the business pages, but I maybe post on there once every few months. It's a lot of work maintaining the presence, and to me that kind of made me not want to do it on a personal level. It's too much more work. I'd rather keep my personal stuff like in person, you know? So if you look on my personal Facebook page, I live a really boring life because I'm not documenting things that I do all the time. All the fun things I go out and do with my friends, the trips that I take, I rarely tell people when I travel because I share so much of my life with the world already that there are some things that I want to keep to myself. So in this one, I love this, smoke and mirrors. Okay, here they're talking about how they stage all these. So Bilton takes us behind the scenes of a photo shoot where Dominique and Wiley are shown partaking in 1% like activities, like really high ticket items, like sipping champagne and eating chocolates poolside at the Four Seasons, relaxing blissfully on an international flight, receiving luxurious spa treatments, all of it, however, is smoke and mirrors. In the pictures, which are shot in quick succession at a single location, a toilet seat held up aloft mimics airplane windows. And you can Google that and you'll find a ton of examples. Someone with a computer screen holding up a toilet seat because it's the same shape as an airplane window, looking like they're flying. The champagne is just apple juice, and the chocolate are pats of butter dipped in cocoa powder. I mean, you can get truffles at Trader Joe's, but this just looks fancier. And yeah, the rose petal infused spa basin is a plastic kiddie pool. Love it. I mean, I do this in my shoots with my clients, but we're not creating the illusion that there's somebody that they're not. This is a chance to like dress up and do some make-believe for a while, knowing that it's all fun and games. And this was one of my favorite parts of this. So, depressingly though, as Dominique's popularity grows, she even starts getting more auditions and acting gigs thanks to her burgeoning Instagram profile. Her success seems to depend not on a surplus of personality, but rather a lack thereof. Remember William Hung from, was it American Idol, who got famous for being such a terrible singer? That sort of thing. It's sad. She develops an audience by posting videos of herself by unboxing products she has been sent for free by other brands. A blender, energy bars, slippers, a CBD vibrator. What the hell is a CBD vibrator? I don't want to Google that because who knows what ads I'll get. Dominique is like a piece of Play-Doh, Chris says to Bilton. Like a pink wall in Melrose, she is eye-catching but still blank enough. This is, again, another example of record labels putting together boy bands or female pop singers. They take someone who is generic enough that they can add a personality to. Somebody else writes the music, and they are just fed into this machine as a product. The person is the product. They're not selling the products. So most influencers, Bilton tells us, even reportedly mega successful ones like Kim Kardashian, have expedited their climb to the top of the social media pyramid by purchasing followers in order to inflate their engagement rates. So, I mean, this isn't anything new. A lot of people have been doing this. You can go and buy followers. There are companies who will, give you 10,000 followers in 2 weeks, or whatever the safe amount of growth is before Instagram flags your account and shuts you down, because only robots can create that sort of thing. And they're all bots. But you can look at somebody's profile, see that they have 10,000 followers, but each post might only get 50 comments or, a few hundred likes, which means a lot of those followers are bots, but they look like they have a huge following, even though none of them are actually real people engaging with the content. So someone, again, looks like an influencer, but they're not actually influencing anybody. And a lot of companies have started checking this sort of thing before they are paying people to feature their products. So, you could spend $100,000 to have Kim Kardashian put on your lipstick or wear your hat in a photo shoot or in a single photo and tell people how great your product is, and it's going to sell. You could get somebody else who has 1 million followers, but again, if the engagement numbers are so low that that they're not actually reaching 1 million people and their followers aren't going to take action like another influencer's audience will, then they can't charge as much money for that sort of post. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, so then the article goes on to talk about how everything is fake and they're just creating all of this content to build the illusion of them doing incredible things. And then something starts to happen that we didn't anticipate. Bilton says of Dominique, adding that brands started to find her. A bit later, then out of nowhere, Dom got a private message on Instagram inviting her to an all-expenses-paid VIP influencer road trip. Remember Fyre Festival? That's how that got famous. They didn't pay for any advertising. They gave money to influencers to talk about how stoked they were to go. They gave all these VIP passes for people to go and do these things because they had followings. Although all three of them expand their following significantly, Chris and Wiley decided they aren't fit for an Instagram famous existence. Wiley said that he is uncomfortable living a false life propped up by bots. And Chris refuses to fit the mold of an influencer that Bilton and his team have created for him. I can't believe some clowns actually book this thing. Love that. Chris says, when taken to a fake plane that is rented out by those who wish to present jet-setting images on social media. Yeah, so that's a thing too. You see people boarding their own private jets to fly around. You can just go rent the plane to take photos, walking up the stairs, waving out the door to look like you're taking trips on all these chartered planes. There are also studios set up with fake rooms that are just big enough to take a selfie in that looks like you're hanging in mansions, hanging in fancy resorts, or in different parts of the world. Meanwhile, it's like a warehouse full of people and none of it's real. They get into talk about different kinds of influencers: fashion influencers, lifestyle, home and interior design, wellness, health and fitness. So many different people, right? Niche categories: literacy, literary, celebrity gossip, plus size fashion, stick and poke tattoo compared to just other tattoo artists. But in order to create from scratch influencers in a more authentic and specific mold would surely have been more difficult to implement, but also more compelling. Right. It is easier to compete, or it is easier to build a profile that is generic and fake than it is to get something that's actually real and has some substance. So the article concludes then talking about Dominique and her quote, "It's so artificial and surface level," later on in the documentary, about people just posting their gorgeous lives. Their seemingly gorgeous lives, even with, COVID taking place, people losing jobs, people dying, the world shutting down, and they're still sharing images like this when it's all fake, rather than having compassion, rather than actually making a positive influence in people's lives. In one of her most viral videos, she tries out a free bidet, which she received in the mail, and becomes comically perturbed when experiencing the device's effects. That sounds like it would be hilarious to watch. And she says, I've had so many people say, this made my week. I was laughing so hard. And if she could do that for more people, she'd think it would be incredible. So she's found a silver lining here. Her fame has become how awkward she is trying to be a famous influencer, which is kind of ironic. But she's not pretending to be anything she's not at this point, and I think that's cool. Hopefully other people can learn from that. So yeah, at the time of this writing, Dominique's Instagram profile has more than 340,000 followers and promoting a mattress brand, a fitness class booking app, and then she's been promoting Fake Famous on HBO. So it's not sustainable, when you have to put on a show and pretend to be something you're not. It takes so much of your energy, so much from your life that could be dedicated to actually building real connections and making a real difference in the world that will make the world a better place and make you a better person and be something you get to wake up and enjoy doing every single day, as opposed to being a fake Instagram influencer. So hopefully, this inspired you to maybe start unfollowing some of those people who aren't adding real value to your life, who are, maybe setting a standard that you strive toward that isn't real, that they're not even living. So just be mindful of who you look up to and what you set out to be and how you value yourself, because again, it's not real, and there's already a ton of awesomeness inside you. You don't have to pose with toilet seats for airplane windows to be noteworthy. And not everybody needs to be noteworthy. In fact, once you get to a certain level of fame, it only makes life harder. So enjoy what you got. Make the most of what you got. I've been recording videos all day and I'm losing my voice. So if I'm trailing off here, I apologize. This was a good one. It got me all fired up when I read it. I'm glad we got to have this conversation. And if you know of anything else that you'd like me to review, post it down in the comments. I would love to check it out. I have another video where I react to Harry Styles' fashion choices. That one has got a ton of views. People were pretty excited about that video. So be sure to check that one out as well and subscribe to the channel so you can see all the reactions that I do and, well, the rest of my kick-ass content. Because I'm not here to be famous. I'm here to make the world a better place and change people's lives. If I get famous from that, neat. If not, also neat. But I legitimately enjoy Mexican food, and I'm going to get a burrito because I am starving. You are amazing. See you inside.